Welcome everyone to part number 2 of this DVD sketching. This is where we left off last time, and I'm just gonna continue and render this until it's finished, step by step. So now we have our basic shape here of our DVD player. What we want to do now is basically decide what kind of surface this is. Is it glossy or matte or whatever we want it to be? So go back to our airbrush. Now let's say I want this to be a little glossy or glossier than it is right now. That means we have to create some hard contrasts and reflections in here. That's what I'm doing right now. Not that strong. Just go over it every surface. You can put one hard reflection on each surface. Always keep in mind where your light is coming from. This is a little bit too hard, so let's bring it down a little bit. Oops. Of course, it's the wrong layer. That's fine. Let's just fix it. Anyways, basically just go over it and put reflections here and there, and use your hard eraser. Something like that, right? Okay. That looks fine for now. Just make this a little bit more white. So you really can see where the light is coming from. It's pretty obvious right now. Too obvious. So what we want to do from here is actually start to design this box. So let's say we want to make some shapes in the side. So I'm just using black and white to sketch something like this. So we have some sort of, I don't know, line going there in the side. Then we can duplicate this. as many as we want. That's alright. Merge these layers. Whoops. Maybe we want to put the display in front of it. On the front side right here. Still just using the only tools or brushes I've been using for this sketch is airbrush and hard round to erase whatever I don't need. Okay, let's check the perspective. It's alright. Okay, since the display is probably glossy, so I need to show that. Usually displays have this black outline. So we're gonna put that in there too, make it look a little bit realistic. And there we have a reflection. And highlight the edge of this display. Always remember where you have the light source. Makes it a lot easier to know where to put these white lines. And the brush I'm using right now is just a white normal round brush with pressure. Something like that. Fill in the corner a little bit more. There we go. And then this corner is hitting the light that's coming from here. Right? This is usually what takes time, putting all the highlights in there. But it makes a world of difference. And a little bit brighter in the corners. Alright, that's a display. What else do we need for our DVD box? Some buttons, maybe? So let's say that we need to make a bar of buttons down here with all these different functions. Same thing again, just around, just airbrush, and then try to get a straight line with the, there we go, with the hard round brush. Around the corners. This is probably a bit too close to the edge here. I'll bring it in. Okay. Let's check the perspective. It's alright. Doesn't look like a DVD player, but I mean, I'm just showing the sketching, the technique I'm using. Put a highlight on the buttons. Probably a little bit, not so thick. Oops. Okay, that looks alright. And back to this brush. Looks like this. So pressurized. Go into detail. Make these tiny highlights. That makes a big difference. A little bit on this side. Here we have surface number 1, basically, again. But it's actually not that bright since it's behind this corner here. So let's bring it down a little bit. Like this, something like that. Right? And let's merge these so we have everything in one. Now I can start to define where the different buttons actually are by making these kind of actually you just have to make one and copy it probably a lot faster than making 80 separately. So let's start making one. So there's like a cut line here. Something like that. Well, since I want this to be rubber, it really doesn't have that big of a highlight, since rubber is not reflective enough to show all white. And then just copy this part. Copy paste. Probably the best function ever. Saves a ton of time. Okay, now I can actually merge and copy this whole part and make 4. What is it, 4? 4 new buttons. So usually you don't have time at work to, you know, go into detail on each single button. You need to try to save as much time as possible by doing these small tricks. That's a weird button at the end. Let's erase that. Airbrush. Smooth transition here. That's okay. Now this is a big button in the end. All we can do about that, we can put some sort of logo there. Let's see what font this is. Let's say this is a Bambly DVD. Sweet. Zoom in a little bit. Looks alright. Perspective fine tuning. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop for now, and we'll continue next time. I hope to see you then.